Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and I'm a Muslim convert of over 10 years. Today we're going to be talking about the mistakes I made as a new Muslim. So let's get into it. When I first converted to Islam, I used to think the prayer times you had to pray them by the minute. So as the time was at 5:13, you had to pray at 5:13. I didn't realise you could pray it a few minutes later. I knew there was an exception if you had a class or whatever, you could pray it a little bit later but still within the time, but I was very regimented. I thought the prayer is at 3:17, I will pray at 3:17. I didn't understand that you could pray like a little bit later. Another mistake I made when I was a new Muslim is, you know the bit of the prayer where you're sat on the floor? When I was sat on the floor, I used to have both my heels up in the air, so being kind of like a sat up position. And it wasn't until one of the Muslim ladies at the mosque came to me and was like, you know, that's not really how you pray, like we don't really do it like that, that I learned that you're not supposed to pray with your heels like that. But real talk, I'm so grateful that that woman corrected me, because otherwise I would have been doing like that for years and everyone would have been making fun of me. But she corrected me, so I was safe from that. Another thing I used to do is when I was fasting, I didn't start the fast from suhoor time. I used to start it when the sun rised in the sky, so it was fully risen. It wasn't until quite a bit later, I think when Ramadan came, that I realised, oh, you're actually supposed to fast from suhoor time, not when the sun rises. I also used to think that the niqab wasn't part of Islam. So I didn't really, in the past, I didn't really have an issue with countries banning it and things like this. Like I used to think that it was extreme and that Muslims shouldn't really wear it. But kind of now I've realised that there's differences of opinion and that some people believe that niqab is compulsory and it is part of Islam, and that that's both opinions are valid. Another thing I used to think was okay is when I was at school, we used to sing Christian hymns. And I used to think because they praise God that it was okay to sing Christian hymns. Now, after reading the Sealed Nectar, I realised that it's definitely not okay. But honestly, God forgive me, I was sat there in my hijab singing Christian hymns at school thinking that it was okay because they praise God. Like when I was a new Muslim, I didn't have the fully understanding of the idolatry side. Like I believed in Allah, I believed there was only one God, I believed Muhammad was the prophet of God, but the whole idea of association and thing, I didn't fully get it until I read the Sealed Nectar, and I just gained that further understanding of Islam. When I first converted, I used to think there was one school of thought and that every piece of advice I was given about Islam was correct. Like I knew there was Sunni and Shias, but within the Sunni school of thought, I thought everyone followed the same rules. There wasn't different rulings depending on your school of thought. I just thought everyone followed the same thing. I didn't know about Hanafi, I didn't know about Hannibal, I didn't know about, you know, all the different sects. I just had no idea. Another thing is, as a new Muslim, I didn't actually learn you know, the bit of the prayer where you're seated in Salat and you're saying those words. I didn't learn them. I learned them from a book. So it wasn't until much later that I learned to say them correctly, but for ages I was saying that wrong. Because I learned Quran, but I didn't actually learn the elements of the prayer. I just learned the prayer from a book. So I was able to say the surahs and this sort of thing, but that bit where you sat down for years, I didn't know how to say it, and it became too embarrassing to ask people how to say it, which I think is really bad, because if you don't know something, you should be able to ask. But I felt like I reached a point where, oh, I should know this, so I'm not going to let anyone know that I don't know it. Another thing I didn't know about, you know the prayer where you go to sleep and then you wake up before Fajr and you do like a few rakahs and that? I didn't know that that prayer existed for years. Like literally until I went to Umrah, I did not know that was a thing. I think my message is, if you're a new Muslim and you have certain lacking in knowledge, it's okay. I made loads of mistakes. I had lack of understanding. I even have weak knowledge now. I'm not like a sheikh or anything like this, but it's okay to ask for help. So if you are struggling with something or you don't know something, ask for help. Particularly with me, with the bit where I was sat down in the prayer and I didn't know how to say it. Like I didn't ask for help for years, and I just feel like I could have asked for help much earlier. I hope this video has been a little bit beneficial. If not, I hope it's given you a laugh, because literally what I'm saying is so embarrassing. But hey ho, hopefully it's been helpful to someone. So I just wanted to say at the end of this video, I've definitely repented for singing Christian hymns. Like I completely understand that was completely wrong now, and at the time I just didn't have that understanding. I thought they praise God, this sort of thing, so they're okay. I just didn't have that understanding. But now I've reflected and I've repented to Allah for singing Christian hymns. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope to see you around here soon.